This podcast is sponsored by the Fireman Moving Company. The Fireman Moving Company is the official moving company of WKU Athletics. Not only can they be trusted to move all the coaches in and out of Western, but they can move you anywhere nationwide. The Fireman Moving Company is owned and operated by firemen and is founded by WKU alumni. If you're looking to move sometime soon, give them a call at 270 791 1755 and get yourself a free quote. Welcome to Topper Talk, your number one Western Kentucky athletics podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Moffitt, and I'm joined by co-host Tyler Bailey. Hilltopper Nation, whether it's happening on the hill or on the road, grab those red towels, stand up and cheer, because it's up next on Topper Talk. All right, welcome back, and thank you for downloading and listening to another episode of the Topper Talk podcast, your number one source for WKU sports news and information. We are the only year-round WKU podcast, and we are the only WKU podcast that covers every single sport and athlete at Western Kentucky University. We are also a proud member of the College Huddle podcast community. And as always, make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. I always highly recommend our Twitter or X account. Follow us there. Be kept up to date with all the latest news and information as it happens. And then also slide on over to our YouTube channel at Topper Talk Podcast. Make sure you subscribe over there and are following us and get updated every time we upload an episode. We've got Tyler here with me per usual. We've got a lot of good basketball news to talk about, man. You ready to jump into it?
Yeah, man. First 2-0 road swing of the season for us. Let's go.
But before we do that, we have to get caught up with our Red Towel wrap-up, which catches us up with all the news and information that we missed since we last recorded. So, Tyler, hit us with that Red Towel wrap-up.
All right, so starting off strong. The men's basketball team, they went up to Delaware, went over to Delaware, won in an overtime thriller, 88-87, and then went down to Liberty and absolutely just stomped some belt to ass, as you say, but 94-73.
Yeah, let's talk about those games for a minute because they were kind of polar opposites in how those games played out. So the Delaware game, we fell behind early. Slow start, happened again. Wash, rinse, repeat. We were down 16 and just clawed our way back in the second half. Crazy foul at the end to force overtime. Made some free throws, get into overtime, and another crazy foul to basically send us to the free throw line with a chance to win, and we knocked down some free throws and win that game. And what was just a crazy come from behind victory, Ryan Myers clutch at the free throw line, and then the Liberty game. Oh my gosh, man! Both of us on here. Obviously, we always wear red glasses. We wear red glasses, but me personally, I can't predict us to win every single game. We can't go 31-0 or 40-0 or 12-0 in football. Like, I'm going to predict some losses every once in a while. And this was just a game that I didn't have high hopes that we could go in there and win. Now, I knew we were capable of beating Liberty. I mean, we almost beat them on our home floor just a couple weeks ago, but we had to play a pretty good game, and we still lost to a really good Liberty team. And even though you predicted a win, I don't think many people in the Hilltopper fan base expected us to go there and just put a beating on them, apparently, literally and figuratively, according to some of their fans. Apparently, we're still beating them right now. So just a heck of an impressive win, a 21-point victory on the road sweep that you mentioned. It feels really good right now for our basketball team to be getting healthy and playing our best basketball of the year. It's late February. We're just a couple weeks away from that tournament in Huntsville. Who knows? Why not us? We could punch another ticket to the NCAA tournament, man. I'm here for it and glad we get to talk about it. Tyler, what were your thoughts on both of those games?
I mean, you're right. In the Delaware game, we got down a lot in the first half. I think we only scored like 29 points. Yeah, we did. We scored 29. We gave up 41. But something flipped there at halftime. I don't know what Coach Hank said to them in the locker room, but I want him to say it every game from here on out. And really, if you ask me, I think the defense and the shooting that took place there in the second half carried over into the Liberty game. So I'm kind of thankful for that first half, looking back, because something did switch. But you're right. Delaware, we had to claw back into it. Tegan Moore scored 27. LJ Hackman scored 13. LJ's coming on now, and I'm going to talk about him later. Whenever we talk about whenever I talk about the Liberty game. Ryan Myers, you're right. He came up clutch there. He scored 22 points. But really crazy fouls. And they still complain less than Liberty did. So I don't know how that's even possible. But whenever Ryan was shooting that foul to force it into overtime, or to shooting that shot, force it into overtime, got fouled. I had complete trust in him to hit those. And then you go into, honestly, I think the first foul was on Armello Boone. Whenever he was dribbling, I think that was probably reaching foul, or at least with the body. But thankfully they didn't call it. Myers ended up getting it, shooting, and the rest is history. But I'm really proud of the team, how they did come out and play just staunch defense there in that second half. And we didn't really go into any long periods of not getting a field goal. And I think continuing on, that's what we're going to have to do. Now, fast forward to Liberty. We came out the gate shooting, hitting, scoring, putting points on the board. LJ made, what was it, Porter? LJ owned Porter that game. And I know people are going to be talking about the foul, about Blaze riding Porter. Dude, you're 5'3". Don't go into the paint. I mean, you can. It's your right to go in the paint, but you're not going to get a rebound. You're obviously going in there to do some sketchy crap. And really, it was a foul. It was over the back. But you're right. I guess we're still beating them from here in Bowling Green. But I think I called this. I think we said we was going to split whenever we talked about preseason. I said we was going to split games with them. We ended up doing it. But, I mean, LJ Hackman had his way. Moore came out 21. Grant came out shooting great. Added in 21. We out-rebounded them. We forced more turnovers. I mean, we pretty much statistically won everything but the blocks. I think they had 4. We had 1. But the refs kind of were calling fouls whenever we were blocking shots, and they weren't them. But really what let them down was their free throws. I mean, they shot like 56% or something like that. It was atrocious. Yeah, 58.6%. Atrocious.
They missed 12.
Yeah, that's, granted that wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game, but that's a lot. And they're shooting their 3-point percentage horrendous, 28.6. They did hit 55.6 field goal, but it is what it is. I guess be better. But yeah, there's a whole lot of coping going on over there in Virginia right now. I don't feel sorry for them. Grow up. Basketball is a physical sport. It's a contact sport. You're going to get hit. You watch games from the NBA games from the 90s, 80s. It was basically tackle football. So, time to get over this little girl there. But, I mean, that's basketball. Our team came out, played great. I think this was probably our first complete game from whistle to whistle. First complete game. I'm here for it. I think this is a game that we can use moving forward. And hopefully we can continue to build on that, because dude, if we continue to play like this, ain't nobody can stop us. The only people that can stop us is ourselves. And I'm really excited to see what this team's going to do. Now moving on to the Tegan Moore. No surprise here. He won Conference USA Player of the Week.
Yeah, before I jump in and talk about Tegan, I do want to at least address my hoarse voice. If you're listening, you probably notice just to let everyone know, if you've kept up with my health situation, I had a treatment on Friday. All is good, all is well, but apparently it's affected my vocal cords, so bear with me. We're going to get through the episode. But yeah, Tegan Moore, Player of the Week, deserved it. Averaged 24 points and 4 rebounds, if I'm not mistaken, for the week in the 2 games versus Delaware and Liberty. quite frankly, he should have won it last week as well, but I think he got penalized for us only playing one game at Middle Tennessee when he had 28 points. So, in my opinion, it should be back-to-back Player of the Week, Tegan Moore. But we definitely are benefiting from him being back, being healthy. Armelo's back and healthy. The roster is figuring it out, man. We're playing our best basketball, and Tegan is definitely, the straw that stirs the drink. So love to have him back, and big congratulations to him.
Oh, the Lady Toppers basketball, they got a huge win. We knocked off number 1 Liberty. The Ladies Toppers beat MTSU to a tune of 70-65.
Yeah, the second straight year that the Lady Toppers have beaten MTSU inside of Diddle Arena. So we know it's been a rough season for the Lady Toppers. They're still on the bottom of the women's conference standings. They need some help, quite frankly. They need to win a couple more games, and they need teams above them to lose for them to have a chance to make it to Huntsville. The top 10 teams go. 2 teams will stay home. So right now, I love the fight that they're showing. To beat MTSU, who's year in, year out is a pretty consistently good team. They're not just rolling over and dying and taking this season for what it is. They're still putting up a fight and defended home court and won the 100 miles of hate. So congratulations, ladies.
WKU Baseball, they beat Southeastern Missouri 3-1 in a 4-game series. They are now 5-3 on the season.
Yeah, WKU Baseball, man, it's it's not as hot a start as we saw last year, and I think we've been kind of spoiled to Coach Rarden's teams and just how good and how well they've played out of the gate the last couple years. A little bit of a slower start this year. 5-3, have dropped a couple games, gave up a couple games late, but man, offense. They score a lot of runs. The pitching side of things feels like we still need to figure it out. They're also giving up some runs, but I do have faith in Coach Rarden and company. They won the game 12-4 in game 1. They won game 2 4-2. They lost game 3 7-8, and then they won game 4 11-8 to win that series. And our next game is at UK. I'm ready for that one. Let's go.
Well, speaking of the game at UK, it has been moved to Wednesday. I believe it's supposed to be played on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, but it got moved to Wednesday.
Yeah, that game is up in Lexington. Apparently, there's some bad weather in the area, so they decided to push that game one day. But we played them well last year. And I like that they'll at least play us in baseball. If nothing else, they'll play us. We pretty much go home and away every year. So the game will be on Wednesday. Hopefully, if you're up in the Lexington area, you go to the game, wear some red. We can beat them, quite frankly. We've proven that over the last few years. We've beaten them a couple times. So let's go up there and let's shock them kitty cats. Why not us?
The WKU softball team, they had a perfect 4-0 weekend. They are now 10-3 overall.
Yeah, 4-0 weekend. Nice tournament that they had. They're now 10-3, like you said. They beat Butler 9-0 in game 1. They beat Western Michigan 7-2 in game 2. They beat Detroit Mercy 9-1 in game 3, and then they played Western Michigan in game 4 and beat them 8-4. 10-3, man, hot start. This is a team that returned a lot of starters. We're seeing a lot of offense coming out of them, a lot of runs being scored, and the first 2 Pitcher of the Week awards were Hilltoppers. So we've got a dangerous team. I like what we've got going on, and hey, we host Illinois next in the Hilltopper Spring Fling this coming weekend. So another statement that we can make coming up soon.
Pro top news: Lucky Jackson signed with the Louisville Kings of the UFL.
Yeah, Lucky had been bouncing around in the NFL a little bit. He had been with the Vikings most recently this past season. Was on the practice squad, called up to the roster due to some injuries, but now has signed with the Louisville Kings. Going to be back in Kentucky playing for the Kings in the UFL. So excited for him, still getting a chance to play professional football. Doesn't matter what level it's at, man. He's proven he can play at the NFL. He's going to get another shot. Quite frankly, he's going to get a camp invite and be on a roster by the time, the summer rolls around. But for now, UFL, congratulations, Lucky Jackson.
And the Lady Toppers golf finished 8th at the Reynolds Lake Oconee Invitational.
Yeah, the Lady Toppers, they started slow, man. They came out the gate. They were 13th after the first round. They moved up to 10th after the second round and then finished the tournament in 8th. So they moved up every single round. Unfortunately, that slow start kind of hindered them being a top 5 team. They were led by none other than Sydney Hackett. The name should sound familiar. We were either talking about her or Katie Craig last season. She had a top 10 finish. She was 7th at +2. Leah Edwards was tied for 18th at 7 over. Kaylee Dwyer was tied for 51st at 17 over. Nina McMurdy was tied for 65th at 22 over. And Grace Free was tied for 72nd at +26 over. So congratulations, Lady Toppers.
And WKU tennis, they beat Butler 6-1. They are now 6-5 on the season.
Yeah, we've talked about Butler or about WKU. They've had a little bit of a rough start to the season. They've had a tough schedule. They're replacing a lot of all-time greats that have graduated this past season. So nice to get a win. They're now above 500, 6-5 on the season, and this was the first game of a 6-game homestand. So they're playing back here in Bowling Green. Last year they were really good on their home court, so hopefully they continue to defend home and win a few more matches.
And I'm going to apologize for talking fast during the basketball coverage. We was talking about Liberty and Delaware. I got excited because it was fun to knock off Liberty. But that concludes this week's episode of Red Tower Wrap Up. Moff, I'm going to give it off back to you.
Yeah, always good stuff. Man, we could spend a whole episode talking about that Liberty game, and we could just start firing off tweets of them complaining and crying about the officiating and the fouls and Tegan's elbow touching Harper's face. Get out of the way. And one. That's all I can say. But jumping into our game preview, as always, brought to you by Roof Girl. If you have a leaky roof, shingles detached, faded, or just plain blah, don't call any roofing company. Call Paula with Roof Girl. Locally owned and operated with over 6 years of experience and a proud WKO alumna, she will work with your insurance company. Give Roof Girl a call today to set up a free inspection and quote. See her work by following Roof Girl on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, you're not just calling any roofing company. You're calling Paula, a person who cares for your roof. Call or text Roof Girl at 270-392-4768 to get started today. And now we jump into our New Mexico State and UTEP previews. WKU enters this week's games with a record of 16-11 overall. We are 9-7 in Conference USA play, and we're all alone in third place. Who'd have thunk it, man? Just a few weeks ago, we were down in 6th, 7th place, but now don't let the tops get hot. Like our boy Jare used to always say, don't let them get hot. 4 wins in a row, 2 games coming up at home. Let's defend Diddle. Obviously, we talked about us beating Delaware and Liberty this past week. Our final 2 home games, we host New Mexico State Thursday night at 6:30, and then senior night, we host UTEP on Saturday at 2 p.m. Both of those games will be on ESPN Plus, but you should be in Diddle Arena. We've had 2 good crowds consecutively. The MTSU game over 4,000, not a sellout, but we actually had 4,000 people there. Take notes, Liberty. But yeah, man, this team, the way they're playing right now, they deserve our support. They deserve you to come, show up, be loud, wear red, and let's cheer them on to a couple more victories, man. Tyler, what are your thoughts on the Hilltoppers and the current state of the team after a successful road trip and now coming up on a big homestand to finish out the home regular season games?
Real quick, just going to throw some more shade. Yes, a sellout is where every seat is taken, not just, how many, 3,922 people, Liberty. That's not a sellout in a 4,000 seat gym, small ass gym. But, this is kind of like a revenge game, right? We lost New Mexico State to a tune of, I think it was like 80-64.
Yeah.
They played us tight. I think in that game we got down really
21-2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this team will do that. At least I hope not. At home, I don't see that happening. But at least we know what they can do. They got some players that can score. I think they have a really good rebounding team as well. They rebound about 37.6 points a game, and or 37.6 rebounds a game. We're going to get into that later. I mean, I think this right here is a real good matchup. Let's see how both teams kind of have advanced throughout the season. They're kind of still lower in the standings than we are. And then with UTEP, they are fighting for their life right now. They're down there at kind of close to the bottom. I think there's a three team tie down there towards the bottom, and they're currently fighting. So that can make them a dangerous team, because if they want to get down to Huntsville, they're going to have to win some games. And nothing would probably make them happier than to come in here and upset us. So I think we need to be on our P's and Q's this week as we play these two games, and hopefully the team is.
Yeah, both of these teams that we play this week are down there in danger of missing Huntsville, like you just said. So yeah, that I think that's going to be an extra chip on their shoulder of them wanting to come in and knock us off to try to secure their way to the conference title game. Now, this is one of the tougher road swings when we go and play at New Mexico State and UTEP. One, the distance, the elevation, and both of these teams play a really physical style of basketball. And coming out of the game we just played, apparently we're ready for it. We'll throw bows. We'll do whatever it takes. We're going to get this W. But let's talk about New Mexico State first. They enter this week with a record of 13-13 overall, including being 6-10 in Conference USA play. They won their lone game last week against UTEP 67-63. They've now won 2 games in a row, including also beating Jacksonville State last Saturday. This is the second matchup of the season, with New Mexico State winning the matchup in early January, 80-64, like you mentioned. Coach Plonin talked about that 21-2 deficit that we, kind of dug ourselves into early in that game. We did actually claw back and get within single digits, but they end up pulling back away. So obviously a better start has to happen here in Diddle Arena. Jamel Jones led the way in that victory for New Mexico State. He scored 24 points, while WKU only shot 5 of 23 from 3 and was out-rebounded 49-40, which is odd for us. We've been a really good rebounding team. And Tegan Moore was held to only 5 points, and Armella Boone was our only player to score in double figures. And if I recall correctly, I think this was Terrion Murdoch's first game back when we played at New Mexico State. So we were kind of trying to refigure out the team dynamics and the roles, and playing on the road was tough, and it still is tough. But thankfully, we're back at home for this one. The Hilltoppers are currently on a 4-game winning streak and now are arguably playing their best basketball of the season. The ESPN matchup predictor gives WKU a 67% chance of victory. So I'll take that all day. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this matchup with New Mexico State before we jump into the players to know?
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a tough one. I don't think this team for Western that's about to suit up and take the floor ain't the same team that we seen back in early January. I think they've grown. They've gotten used to – I think they're starting to find their identity out a little bit better. I don't think our post players were really being or Blaze and Leroy and Boyd, they weren't really being as aggressive as they can be. Blaze, he really had that them games against like MTSU and them games where he really found himself stepping into his game. He was being a better rebounder. He was being a more dominant presence down there. He was getting putbacks. So I think this game is going to be completely different. Do I think it could be fast paced? Yeah, but I feel like this team was made for that kind of chaos, fast paced type game. So, and I do think Western's going to come out to win in this one. Kind of foreshadowing here.
Yeah, I think the team that we're seeing now and how they're playing now, especially that they're all healthy, all the guys that are available are going to be playing. We're healthy, and we haven't been that in several weeks, maybe even months. Just going back to Terry on this time, then Tegan and Armello, and just we've had a lot of injuries, but now we're healthy and we're playing our best ball since probably the Atlantis Bahamas trip. I mean, I think we saw the ceiling of what this team could be then, and then we had Grant Newell get hurt. Terrion got hurt. Tegan's been hurt. Armello's been hurt. Bryant Celebonge went down. Luis Simona's went down. Like, we've just had to adapt our style of play, and now we're starting to see the fruits of that, and this team's coming together. But Let's talk about some of these players to know for New Mexico State. If you're watching on YouTube, as always, I've got the information, the graphics are pulled up on the screen. Their leading scorer is Jamel Jones. I mentioned him earlier. Averaging 17.1 points per game. He was their leading scorer last game. He's really a versatile guy that hits a lot of tough 2-pointers. If you listen to Hank Plona today, he can make a three, but he's more going to get you at that mid-range game and can get to the rim as well. But, likes to pull up and make a nice, tough jumper that doesn't look easy, but he makes it look easy. Their leading rebounder is Julius Mims. He's averaging 8.9 rebounds per game. And then their leading passer, their assist man, is point guard Gabe Pickens. He's averaging 3 assists per game. And you can see how that compares to our guys over on the right. Teagan averaging 18.3 points per game. Armello at 6.4 rebounds per game. And then Teagan, our leading assist man, at 2.1 per game. But I bet Terrion's probably right there on his heels because he's been having some good assist games here lately. Then jumping over to the team comparisons and just how we match up with them side by side. Points per game, we score more than them. We're at 78.5. They're at 75.5. We also do give up slightly more points than them. We give up 75 points per game. They give up 70.8. Field goal percentage, again, this is a season-long trend. We don't shoot well. We have shot well over the last 4 games. That's led to this winning streak. But for the season, we're at 40%. They're at 44%. Rebounds per game, we're strong there, almost 40 per game to their 37.5. Assist, almost even, 13.1 to 13.6. Blocks, 2.6 to 3.4. And then steals, 7.7 to 6.6 in favor of us. But a couple really evenly matched teams. And there's some revenge factor for us. There's some trying to stay alive and go to Huntsville factor for them. So, this is going to be a tough ball game. I don't want to take for granted how well we just played at Liberty and just automatically assume that, hey, this is going to be a layup win. We should beat them by 20 as well. Because if we can beat Liberty by 20, we can beat anybody by 20. But we also can lose by 20 as well if you saw how we played at New Mexico State. So we got to come with our A game. We've got to come ready to play and doing the things that have led to this winning streak. So, Tyler, what are your thoughts on this New Mexico State matchup and how this game might look?
Yeah, just because you're a home team in Conference USA don't mean anything. So you're right. We can't take that for granted. We're going to have to come hungry. We're going to have to act like our back's against the wall. Because Jamel Jones, the dude is automatic from the free throw line. So I'm sure he's going to try to drive in and get fouls. Mims, he's our second leading scorer. He's putting up 10.8 points along with the 8.9 rebounds, like you said. And then, you got Elijah Elliott. He's shooting 35.7% from 3-point land. Jones is shooting 39.4. Mims will even step out and shoot a 3. Now, granted, he's only attempted 28. He's hit 10 of them. And then that Anthony Warziak cat, he's chipping in 24.3 minutes a game, scoring 7.9, getting 2 rebounds. He is a guard, but he's also shot 140 threes. He's only hit 49, but he's also 25 to 29 from the free throw line. So you're right. I'm expecting kind of a fast up-tempo game in this one. Both teams can score. We just got to be sure that we can turn them over or get them rebounds or loose balls and add them to us, because I really don't want to try to keep it close with them. I would like to be able to put our foots on their throats and really just kind of cruise in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a good one. I'm excited. I'm ready to be back in Diddle. I know that much. It's only Monday night as we record. We still got a couple more days to wait, but man, looking forward to these matchups. And then we look at our Saturday matchup with UTEP. It will be senior night. UTEP enters this week's games with a record of 10-17. They are also 6-10 in Conference USA play. They have lost their last 2 games in a row, including last week's game with New Mexico State. And the 2 teams last played on January 10th. at UTEP, with WKU winning that game 68-56, and just a low scoring, sloppy, ugly ball game. If you look at that box score, neither team shot well, but WKU used a dominant second half in which we outscored UTEP 37-21 to pull away and secure that victory. The ESPN matchup predictor loves WKU. It probably gives us the biggest chance of victory I've seen this season for any conference opponent by far, but an 82.4% chance of winning against UTEP at home on senior night. Man, you can't ask for much more than that. That's a lot of confidence. Hopefully Vegas follows suit, and then hopefully the team shows up senior night, lays it all on the line, and sends the Miners back to El Paso with an L. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this UTEP rematch?
Listen, these guys are tied for third in that three-way tied race for just right above Delaware at the bottom of the rankings. Yeah, these guys are going to be fighting for their lives too. Granted, when we played at third place, it wasn't like I said, it was an ugly game. Both teams shot in a 30% from 3-point land, probably 30s for field goals overall. Just atrocious. Now I do think they're going to try to slow it down a little bit. I don't think they really want to go pedal to the metal with us. So it's basically who's going to force the other one out of their comfort zone. I think Western plays our best whenever we go fast, and with a desperate team like this, I mean they could try to sit out there and get hot from threes, or at least drive it in and try to make the old fashioned 3-point play, but we're going to have to play smart. I feel like this team could try to set the pick and roll. That's been one of our Achilles heels. So hopefully we've been better defending against that. But really, I do like us this game right here on senior night. UTEP is a historic program. Going back from their national championship run back in the day. But I don't think we can take any game light. Yes, the ESPN matchup predictor likes us in this game, but that's not played on the court. But I do feel like the way we've been playing, this could be an easy. I don't want to say easy win, but this should be one of our better wins. Hopefully by 20 plus. But that's me dreaming. But I feel like if we keep playing as good as we are, as history has unfolded over these last 4 games, I feel like this could be a dub for us.
Yeah, I think we need to send the Miners back to El Paso and to the Mountain West Conference with just one last L from us in basketball. I mean, we've owned them in every other sport. We might as well do it in this one as well. Now let's jump in and look at the players to know for El Paso. Their leading scorer is Elijah Jones. He's number 33. He's averaging 14 points per game. Their leading rebounder is Jamal West Jr. He's averaging 6.6 rebounds per game. And then their leading passer is KJ Thomas, averaging 3.1 assists per game. Again, not anything that blows you out of the water with any of these guys. They're a physical branded team. I think they want to slow it down, be physical, and try to make us uncomfortable and make us have to be efficient in the half-court offense. I don't know. Maybe when we get to score predictions, I lean that way. But I just think this is a game we can win. This is a game we should win. But it is going to be a battle just because of their style of play that they like to play. Now, looking at the team comparisons, how we compare with them on paper, side by side, we score a lot more points than them. They don't even score 70 a game. We're at 78.5. They give up a little bit less points than us, but that's more a style of play. They're at 71.7. We give up 75. They shoot better than us. That's fine. 43% to 40. Rebounding, big edge for us there, +7. Assists, we're favored, +1. Blocks, they have a slightly 3.7 to 2.6. And then steals, basically even. So, we really just have to keep our foot on the gas, keep taking good 2-point shots, and then kicking out for those occasional threes. Don't fall in love with the threes. We've seen how efficient we've been these last few games. So we know the recipe. We can win these games. We just have to stick to our style, stick to our identity. Tyler, what's your thoughts on this UTEP team as we look for this rematch?
Yeah, I think they are going to want to try to slow it down and be physical. I don't think there's a Cleveland clubber. I saw someone that did a little moniker to Cleveland from Liberty, but I don't think there's one of those on this team. But Elijah Jones, dangerous man. They got 4 guys scoring in 10 plus points. And I feel like either one of them 4 could go off on any given night. So I think this is a dangerous team. Right now, as I said, and as me and you both have said, they're fighting for their lives. This team wants to go down to Huntsville. And so they're going to try to come out, and what a better way to do that than to beat us at our place on senior night. But I feel like our team should continue the defense. Hopefully, we don't get no cold spells in either one of the halves, and we just play complete 40-minute games. And you're right, we send them back to West Texas, carrying that L on their back.
Yeah, they will absolutely be fighting for their life and trying to stay out of that 11th and 12th position. So that is a perfect segue to our keys to victory. What do we need to do to secure these wins at our home court for our final 2 home games? So, Tyler, what's your first key to victory versus New Mexico State and UTEP?
I'm gonna say play stingy defense. I originally was going to put something else. I'm sure you'll probably have it. So I'm just guessing. We don't share notes. I don't know what he's got down. I don't even know if he writes this down. I write mine down because that's just the way I am. But play the defense like we played. Second half of Delaware, full game at Liberty. I think if we play that kind of defense, we're going to be giving this team fits.
Yeah, my first key to victory is going to be let Tegan Moore cook. Should be the 2-time defending player of the week. Got robbed 2 weeks ago. Got the award today as we're recording. Definitely deserved. Definitely nice to have Tegan back healthy and just balling. I mean, been saying since the summer he's that dude. And when he's healthy, man, he's a weapon. He's one of the best scorers and most efficient guys in Conference USA. So let Tegan Moore cook. What is your second key to victory, Tyler?
Win the rebounding battle. That's more against New Mexico State, where we only out rebound them about two rebounds a game. UTEP, we do that by like five or six. So, if you collect them loose board or them defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, always better. But more rebounds you get, the better chance you are to win.
Yeah, I think my second key to victory is going to be similar to your first, playing tight lockdown defense, but I think it's more about our 3-point defense. We can't let them just come in here and just start guns a-blazing, bow and arrow from 3 just all night long. We've got to lock both these teams down. It seems like we've been a lot more intentional about pressuring out on those ball screens up top and just making shooters uncomfortable, making them have to step back to, in the Liberty game, when they started making some threes in that second half, I said, they're back there in John Elmore range. I was having PTSD there for a moment, but, that little hot streak didn't last long, and obviously we got that win. So I think we need to do that in both of these games coming up. They're not going to shoot the 3 as much as Liberty did, but if they get hot from back there, I mean, it can beat us. So let's lock that down. Tyler, what's your third key to victory this weekend?
First of all, I could have went my entire life without hearing the name John Elmore ever. I dislike that man. My third key to victory is going to be get to the rim. We have a better scoring percentage, and I like our free throw shooting. And that's 2 things going to happen if you get to the rim on a consistent basis. And if, people start sinking in on you, kick out. It's crazy. We have great 3-point shooters. And we got people who will drain it. But definitely get to the rim. I think that's only going to more advance our chances of winning.
Yeah, my third key is almost exactly the same. I think we've seen a much better emphasis, especially since Tegan and Armello have come back, at being aggressive, getting into the lane, getting downhill, like we were early in the season, good things happen. You either score an easy bucket or you get fouled and you go to the free throw line. And we're really efficient at the free throw line, and that's your best friend, your best offense is at the free throw line, especially when we shoot them at such a high clip. So stay aggressive, keep the foot on the gas, get downhill, get these guys in foul trouble. I love everything about it. I think only good things happen, and that's why we're playing our best basketball right now in late February. Tyler, who have you got for your MVT, your most valuable topper this week?
All right, so I'm going to keep riding with Grant Newell. Um, I really like his game. I really like that he's a mismatch, and I like how he can hit it from the 3-point land or get in the lane, post up. He's got some nice footwork. I'm going to continue riding with Grant this week.
Yeah, Grant's a good selection, man. I think he's definitely our X factor player. It seems like when he's on and playing well and consistent, good things happen. And he's been playing well and consistent here lately, coinciding with this 4-game winning streak. But I am riding with my boy Tegan Moore. Should be 3-time player of the week, quite frankly. He's gonna get another. I feel it coming. He's got a 30-point game coming this week. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm feeling that, why I think that, but I feel a 30 piece coming from Tegan Moore this week on the home court. So give me Tegan Moore, Def Taxes, Tegan Moore. Watch out, faces, his elbows coming. But man, I love it. I love everything and how he's playing lately. And I'm ready for him to lead us to a couple more victories this week. Speaking of victories, let's get some score predictions. Tyler, what do you have for score predictions for both games? What do you got, and who's winning?
Well, first of all, I'm Tegan Moore. He's shooting 51.5% from field goal, 81.6% free throw, and 40.7% from 3-point land. Dude is a great player. Dude can score in every facet of the game. It's awesome sitting here and watching him don the WKU jersey, and I really hope he sticks around his entire college career because dude could be great. Dude is awesome. But score prediction. So I got WKU versus New Mexico State. WKU 79, New Mexico State 71. And then I had to get that out of the way, that cough. And then whenever we play UTEP, a little bit more of a greater victory. I'm saying we're going to score 80 and we hold them 68. So WKU wins both games. We close out the 2-game homestand on dubs. Send the Western teams back out west, limping a little bit, crying.
And make it a 6-game winning streak. I like it. I like the red glasses. I like the optimism. I will not be eating crow on next week episode. I am calling for victories. I'm calling for big dubs. Tops win, you win. We are lit. I have us beating New Mexico State 82-74. Convincing victory there. Then the UTEP game, man, I think it could be a little bit slower pace. We saw that in the statistics. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring, but I still got the Tops winning 72-66. We close out the home schedule with a couple convincing victories, make it a 6-game winning streak going into the last 2 games of the season, and hopefully, finish this regular season off strong, man. I think, we're not, we're playing our best basketball not by coincidence right now. We've gotten healthy. Guys know their role. We're playing a shorter bench, not as many of those guys, the Cam Hafners, the boys, Jack Edelin, those guys aren't seeing the court as much. I think we are seeing a tighter rotation from Coach Plona because he's seeing those effective guys, those efficient guys, and letting them play and letting them eat. And man, the proof is in the pudding. Winning a lot of ball games right now, playing good basketball. Don't bite me. Don't make me come on here next week and recap an ugly loss or two. I don't think that'll happen. But you've seen that triangle of hope. We've got our hopes up. We're up here at the top here. Let's not slide down to the I get disappointed again corner again. I want to believe in these tops, and I really like our chance in both of these games this week. And quite frankly, I like our chances in Huntsville. I can't wait to go. I'm planning on being there again this year after not making it last year. Cheering on this team, wearing red, being loud. and just ready to see us make a little noise in March again. So, Tyler, hit us with your final words and take us on out of here.
Yeah, I do hope everyone comes and actually has a sellout of the last two home games. If you can't make it to Thursday game, please come to the Saturday game, and send these seniors out who have had such an amazing career, or they've only been here a year. An up or down year, it kind of like a roller coaster. But hey, they still put on WKU uniform. They're still playing for the team on the front of their jersey. And I think these guys thrive off the energy. Whenever if you go to Diddle and you watch them play, whenever they start making a run, you'll see Hank trying to get the fans into it. You see the players trying to get the fans into it. So there's no reason for these guys to come and play in a half empty gym, especially after the road stand they just had, where 16-point comebacks nothing to you know kind of look away from. But then you come around and knock down an undefeated conference foe, or undefeated in conference season, Liberty by 21 points. I mean, this team deserves people coming and watching them and cheering them on. And then also go out and watch a softball team, watch a baseball team. If you can, hopefully, like as Moff said, hopefully go up to Lexington on Wednesday and watch them. Watch the baseball team. Hopefully, you get to come watch the softball team beat Illinois next weekend. But this week should hopefully is a good week. I'm looking forward to it being a good week. And just like you, please don't make me come on here and recap of a one game loss. Hopefully not a 2-game loss. But with that, I will say, Moff, who has it better than us, man?
Nobody, buddy. You know it.
Y'all go Tops.
Go Tops. Later, guys.
See y'all.